Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really fundamental shift in how we think about artificial intelligence. The goal isn't just about making smarter tools anymore. It's about creating something totally different, true AI teammates.
Okay, so think about it. For years, how we've talked to AI has been, well, kind of like a one-way street, right? We give it a command, it spits out a response. But what if that whole interaction felt less like talking to a machine and more like working with a partner? That's the huge shift happening right now. We're moving from just chatting to actually collaborating.
And to really get our heads around this evolution, we're going to follow the work of someone who's right at the center of it all, Karina Nguyen. She has been at the very heart of this change, first at Anthropic and now as a research manager at OpenAI. She's literally designing the interfaces that are supposed to turn AI from a tool into our creative partner.
All right, first up, beyond the chat box. So let's start with the problem that she and a lot of others in the field were seeing. Why did talking to these super powerful AI models feel so limiting?
And her journey is pretty amazing, It starts back at Berkeley, where she was working on computer vision for investigative journalism. Then she joins Anthropic as employee number 60. And get this, she built the very first version of the Claude.ai interface. So yeah, this hands-on experience gave her a front row seat to a huge bottleneck in the industry.
And she was really direct about it. She said, "I don't know why we are lagging in the form factors." Basically, while the AI models were getting smarter and smarter at this incredible pace, the form factors, the way we actually use them, were just stuck. It's like having this brand new supercar, but you can only drive it in first gear. This lag was seriously holding back what these things could really do.
Okay, section 2, AI as a collaborator. So the big question is, how do you break out of that restrictive little chat box? The vision was to completely transform the AI from just a simple assistant you boss around into a real collaborator that you work with side by side.
And her team's answer at OpenAI is this feature called ChatGPT Canvas. It's a totally different idea. Instead of a chat that just vanishes when you close the tab, Canvas is a shared, persistent space. The easiest way to think about it? It's like a Google Doc, but your co-author is the AI.
And here's the really cool part, the inspiration for this. Karina actually said it came from Tom Riddle's diary in Harry Potter. That magical book you write in and it writes back to you. It's that idea of a dialogue happening inside the document itself. Pretty wild, right?
This comparison just lays it all out so perfectly. You're moving from the old way, a turn-based chat, to the new way, a shared workspace. The output is no longer just a static block of code or text, it becomes this living, editable document. And maybe most importantly, the process itself changes from a simple instruct, then receive, to this constant fluid cycle of co-creating and refining together.
So let's talk about the process behind the product. Because, creating a totally new way to interact with AI, well, it doesn't just happen by magic. It takes a really disciplined, repeatable process that perfectly blends deep research with smart product development. Okay, so this is a look at the actual playbook her team uses, and it's fantastic. It all starts with a PRD, a product requirements document, basically defining exactly what you want to build. Then you get the funding. Then you build a prototype, and you do it just using prompting to see if the core idea even works. Now, this next step is crucial. Evals. They test the prototype specifically to find out where it fails. They want to break it. Once they know the weaknesses, that's when they start the real model training, fine-tuning the AI to get past those specific failure points. From there, it's a classic bug bash to iron everything out, and then you ship it. You get it out to users because that's the only way you're really going to learn and get better.
All right, section 4, building a proactive AI. Once you've got this collaborative model down, it naturally leads to the next big step, proactivity. The goal here is to build an AI that doesn't just sit there waiting for your next command, but one that actually starts to anticipate what you need.
And this is where a feature called Tasks comes into play. Now, on the surface, it seems pretty simple, right? You can just ask ChatGPT to do something later, or maybe repeat an action every single day. But this is way more than just a scheduler. It's actually the foundational building block for a much, much bigger idea.
Because look, the long-term vision isn't just about scheduling reminders. It's about creating an AI that can actually observe your routines and your patterns. So, if it notices that you're summarizing the same reports every single morning, the AI should be smart enough to proactively say, "Hey, I notice you do this every day. You want me to just take care of that for you from now on?" That's the partner, not the tool.
Okay, so this brings us to the final section, the coming age of agents, because all of this work, the collaboration, the proactivity, it's all pointing in one direction. It's leading toward the holy grail in the field right now, building true AI agents that we can actually trust to handle complex, long-term goals for us.
And Karina lays out this progression really clearly. It's a journey. Step 1 is getting the AI to reliably handle simple, one-off actions, like the tasks feature. Step 2 is learning to work together, side by side, in a shared space like Canvas. And only after we've mastered those two things can we really move on to the final stage, which is full delegation.
But that final leap to full delegation, it all comes down to one absolutely critical word: trust. Right? We're not just going to hand over our most complex, important work to an AI agent until we've actually built a relationship with it. And that relationship gets forged in these collaborative spaces, through hundreds and thousands of tiny, reliable interactions that prove over and over again that the AI gets what we want and can deliver on it.
And that leaves us with this final, really fascinating question to think about. I mean, for basically all of human history, our tools have been passive things, right? We pick them up, we use them, we put them down. But what happens when our most powerful tool is no longer just a passive object, but an active, creative teammate? The very definition of our work, of our creativity, our entire potential, really, is about to be completely redefined.